welcome to another episode of Velocity Chaos! Hello and welcome here to the Velocity Chaos Podcast. We are coming to you at the speed of sound on these sweet, sweet airways from the Hexapod Soundhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. My name is Luke. I am joined by the magnificent Nick.
Thank you. Happy to be here. This is going to be great. It's going to be even better because we're going to sip on a little DJ Fresh Squeezed.
Oh, yeah. It's the best kind of thing to be drinking on this evening, boys. Thanks for having me out today.
Tall drink of water over here on the board. Oh, we're going to have a great time. This is the 69th episode of Velocity Chaos Podcast. Luke, tell us what we're doing today.
Well, we are flipping things upside down, right side up here. And I'm going to hit you with some clickbait headlines off the rip. We're going to get into some nostalgia about some transportation in the 90s. Then DJ Fresh Squeeze he just found something out and has maybe a hypothetical life question for us. And then we're going to dip our toe into a segment for the ladies. And so just a reminder for our returning listeners and a note for our new friends as we see there's many of you just joining us. Thank you guys all for that. Here at the Velocity Chaos Podcast, we explore the highest heights of human knowledge and the lowest depths of crude humor. Our mission is to tickle that pink thing between your ears, poke that frontal lobe, or sometimes just smash the laugh box. So hop in and buckle up for an infotainment ride across the airwaves.
I'm ready for it. But before we get into it, I just wanted to say that you can follow us on Instagram at Velocity Chaos Pod and on Facebook. You can also email us at velocitychaospodcast@gmail.com. And we would love to hear from you. Have some snail mail in the digital world. Also, drop us some stars on iTunes, some love on Spotify, and toss us a sub on YouTube. We are on the YouTubes on video. Wave hello. So you can find us on whichever place you prefer to consume podcasts. We are there waiting for you to come in to our studio. All right, let's get into it.
Here, right before we get into it, we want to do a little warm-up. I want to ping something to you if you want to pong it back.
Ping pong.
Oh, yeah. We play a game called Make the Connection, and it's just a brain game, a word association game. First thing that comes to our head, but we got a destination we're trying to get to, and DJ Fresh Squeeze is going to give us something. You want to tell people the twist?
Yeah. So we just add a little more depth. Feel free to join in at home. Shout out the words that come into your mind. It can warm you up as well. So this is just word association. We've added a spin to ours. DJ Fresh Squeeze is going to shake it a dice. Yeah, there they are. Do some D6s. He's got two D6s. He's going to throw them down. Whatever number he gets from that, that's how many steps we got to get from word A to word B. And that'll just that'll help us, put a little challenge on it. Gives ourselves a little challenge, a little squeeze. Good luck.
All right, fellas, we're going to clear the runway here for a couple of numbers. We're going to bring them in nice and hot.
Nice.
How'd that sound?
Sounds excellent. You got to get there in 6 tries. It's a hard one.
Okay.
It's a hard one.
That's tight.
It's tight.
Tight like a tiger.
No re-rolls in this game, fellas. I'd like you to make the connection between water parks and archaeology.
Oh, man.
All right. 6, not including this first one.
Okay.
All right. Water parks.
Water.
Rivers.
The Nile.
Sediment.
Underground. I think we're here. Are we here? Where are we at? We are here.
Bedrock.
No, we are already there.
Wait, 5? Wait. Oh, that was 5?
Underground.
Oh, I'm sorry. Underground archaeology. My bad.
Okay.
My bad. I thought we were.
We're gonna nail this. We're gonna nail this sometime.
Yeah.
Hey, I thought we got there. We got there.
We did. No,
We
that was
got
my
there
fault.
pretty good. We got there pretty
not
good.
counting.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. No, I think we got it.
Yeah.
We nailed it.
I found out that I'm counting only mine when I do the counting.
Okay. That's where we went off the rails.
My bad.
Well, hopefully you got there in 6.
Yeah.
You know, our home audience listening in.
Nice job.
Good job. We're getting really good at this. Or we think we're getting.
We think. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe we got a little quicker. I think, but we're still learning this quick one, the target.
Yeah.
So I think if we can, we were doing it. I think we were doing the other ones like a good speed, like before. But now that we have a target with like, it gets our wheels going.
Sure.
I like it.
Yeah,
I really do. What else I want to get going are something that pisses me off. Clickbait headlines.
I'll hide this
This
segment.
is a chest hair. No, Clickbait headlines. It's a game we play where one of us finds some headlines that are clickbaity. You know, you guys are familiar with clickbait headlines. What they do, they're mean. They tell you part of the story and try to entice you in. Well, what Nick and I do is we find some headlines. We maybe alter them a little bit, maybe come up with our own, and then we have DJ Fresh Squeeze and Nick are going to try to guess what these articles are about from these headlines that I came up with. So, number 1.
Okay.
Number 1, Josh, is this headline.
This is like the best joke ever, or like joke / prank, because you know when you're like joshing people.
Mhm.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, this is like the best joke ever told.
You're very jocular. You're joshing me.
Yeah.
That was great, Josh.
Great, Josh. Yes, that one.
Nice.
I'm rolling with host Nick over here on the Josh, and my mom always says, "You're joshing me. You're joshing
You're
me.
joshing
You're
me.
just joshing me." I was like, "Mom, who the hell is Josh?"
I only got
Josh.
2 brothers.
So that's definitely the best.
If
Yeah,
anything,
not
I'd be
named
fresh
Josh.
in you, Ma. I'm Fresh Squeeze over here.
Squeeze every time you say it.
I think that's a great guess. So this one, hundreds of people named Josh converge on Nebraska Park for pool noodle battle. So
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Do we have to guess about that?
No,
That's crazy.
So yeah, it started a few years back where one Josh said he's like, I'm the best Josh, and then it took to Twitter and be like, no, I am, and then so he's like, they started a meetup at this park, and then they fight with pool noodles, and then the victor.
How do you
Josh.
determine the victor?
It's like getting slashed or stabbed, you're out.
Oh, so if you get hit in the core, you're eliminated.
Yep. So
And there's a winner.
there is a winner.
Number 1 Josh.
Number one. You
This
want to know who
sounds
the number
awesome.
1 Josh is? Guess how old he is.
Josh Marconi, 56
Josh.
from Iowa.
Yeah, that was very close. Josh Merconi, 57.
Are you kidding me?
No, kidding.
Oh my God. I would have literally.
I was gonna say only a person from Iowa would participate in this.
Okay.
Nebraska. Okay.
Nebraska.
You got the last name right,
Yeah.
which would have been insane.
Yeah. You had the last name right. The first name you were off. No.
Yeah.
It's Joshua. No. No, so
You really
5-year-old Josh Vincent Jr. So he is a dad named Josh. I wonder if he participated. So not only is he number 1 Josh, he defended his title as the number 1 Josh. 2 years running, number 1 Josh Vincent Jr.
Somebody's got to end this kid's run before it becomes a thing where he
Yeah.
just becomes
The pity
they
thing.
call it like plot armor, where like in shows like you just become too sensitive to the audience. Like if he keeps winning because they're letting him win, pretty
Yeah.
soon, if he wins 10 years in a row, and you're the Josh who enthrones him, like you're gonna be a villain for the rest of your life.
Right.
You're a heel.
Well, it's like if you do it now, like he's the Undertaker right now. He's having this streak of WrestleMania wins. Josh
Someone
wins.
gotta take him out.
Yeah, so it's like if someone like new Josh comes in and tells, I'm gonna be the number 1 Josh. I'm gunning for Josh Vincent Jr. first person.
You know what we should do? Like next year, the Velocity Chaos guys should just all register under fake names.
Under fake Josh.
Drive down there, make a little documentary about this. It's just like us undercover.
My name is Josh Ing.
This is my cousin Josh Ing Yu.
It's hyphenated.
Last name lightly.
Fake birth certificate.
Joshing ya.
Josh and yeah.
Joshing you. Joshing ya. Joshing me.
What's your last name? Badly. We're the Badleys.
We're the
Oh, so you're joshing you badly. You're joshing me badly.
Yeah, our mom just changed our middle name.
Oh man, that's great.
So that's number one Josh right there.
I like that one. That's
a
fun.
good one. It's fun.
Yeah,
It's
I actually
fun.
would go down and just watch.
Would you have? What about number one Nick competition? I know.
That's a
6 or
drinking
7 Nicks like in my life. So when I have to tell people like about the Nicks, like if I go to my parents, I was talking with Nick. I'm like, your son Nick. We thought you were talking about film Nick.
Film Nick.
Yeah, your
wow.
film. I mean, I got to make it simple to the point.
Your second son.
Yeah, your second son Nick. And then I got Wisconsin Nick. I got. Oh shoot! There's another film Nick.
Oh, cool. Because I definitely want to upgrade.
Yeah, you're gonna upgrade from that. And then there's
Best Man Nick.
Best Man Nick. You got Maryland Nick. There's a whole bunch of Nicks. I got a lot of Nicks in my life.
Joshing you. You can call me joshing you.
All right, number 2, clickbait headline. I think you guys did. I think that was your guys' was good. COVID jackpot.
People were playing the lottery a lot more during COVID, and so the pot got bigger, and then somebody finally won a record-breaking jackpot because it was too big.
That's good. I like
Or
that.
there was just like a slot machine that like hadn't been won, and just like, please win me, god damn it!
I need to
Pull my lever.
I think it's way more not sinister or tragic, but this is about like a young budding nurse. It's like his first day on the job, and he's like pushing a cart down the hallway, and then he just like stumbles upon a lab with a bunch of COVID vials in it, and he just
Falls
and he hits the cart full of COVID vials. And he's like, "You hit the COVID jackpot today, didn't you?"
You're dead.
all right, so man in Japan.
Here we go.
He gets town's COVID funds by mistake and gambles it away.
That's even better.
So they were doing. Suspect allegedly admitted to spending most of the $360,000 he was accidentally sent.
$360,000.
Yeah. So it was like a stimulus, and somehow they wired it, and it all went to him.
Wait a second.
Oh
Wait a
my
second.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
And so they sent it to him, and he reportedly refused to request to return the money to town that it was meant for. So, Sho Taguchi, 24-year-old jobless resident in the town of Abu in western Japan, was arrested on Wednesday. Yamaguchi prefectural police said. So Yamaguchi's the town. But yeah, he said 46.3 million yen. Conversion. Actually, we're going to do the real conversion on this one. $360,000 taxpayer money. He lost it on gambling. That's if you got sent that much money, do you send it back, or are you just like, yeah, lucky day?
No, burn it. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you arrest a guy for them messing up? That's the most.
Yeah.
That's probably the most American IRS story, but it happened in Japan. Like no, we messed up, but you're going to jail, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I can't find it, but some guy thinking like Argentina, this just happened to him too.
Oh, okay.
Except this guy was ballsy as hell. And it was like,
He bought the government.
no, he's like, they're like, hey, can you return it? He's like, yeah, no problem. Just left work. I'll return it tomorrow. Sent his resignation letter the next day.
That's great. He's gone.
Like, it's just so funny. Like,
He's in Tahiti.
yeah. Like, technically, like, they try to take legal action, but like, the court was just like, it's your mistake. Like, technically, like, he didn't do anything wrong. Like,
This is all our burden now. Your fault. Can't blame him. Sorry.
going on paternity leave.
Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, next, number 3, Parole Tide.
A bunch of like inmates like stormed the Alabama Tides campus to do something to prepare for football season. I don't know.
That's go on. Or when you give it a shot, it's
You
not
just
right.
said-
No,
That's not right.
but go on. It's
That's
cool.
not
No,
right?
it's good. It's good. It's
Wait,
good.
that's not right.
Wait, you're saying they prepared for the Alabama football season?
It's just like roll tide. Like,
Well, yeah, but
roll
that's
tide.
I was gonna go the same direction, but there's like it was a longest yard type scenario for like charity. They like let them out like play football.
Football with the inmates.
Whoever wins gets out
against Alabama.
2 teams go in. 1 team doesn't.
1 team doesn't come out.
So thief makes getaway on a stolen lawnmower, towing Crimson Tide sign.
Okay, Crimson Tide.
Yeah, you were
Tide.
on. You were close.
That's funny.
So yeah, a lawnmower thief's ass's grass if cops find her after a low-speed getaway.
It was
towing,
a woman?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
She was towing a stolen University of Alabama yard sign, and it's just got this photo of her like it's just on this. She's got a mask on, and she's got a little trailer on there. Like, it's the most ridiculous thing.
Alabama thing I've ever heard of.
The thing, like,
is it like a university sign, like a real sign?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just some.
Oh, that's so
Some-
good. Tell me she's carrying like a natty ice.
Probably in the cup holder.
In her belly.
Yeah, in her belly. At least six. She got a six-pack in there.
6-pack.
But yeah, so it's like to get away. That's your getaway vehicle when you're doing some vandalization.
5 to more.
And to not get caught. Like
Put it, like, you know how mowers have like 4 speeds.
yeah, it's really kicking in there, and it's still like.
Most Bobby Boucher setup ever. Just cruising along at 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Pull over, Sandra. Come and get me.
My ass. All right, here, last one. Number 4, lost in defecation.
Somebody accidentally dropped their poop out the window.
Oh,
You
defenestration.
said defecation.
Lost in defecation. That's a good.
See episode 68. I would say this is lost in defecation. I would say somebody dropped their cell phone down a public toilet into the poop chute, and it was like a nice brand new like iPhone 13 or something. So they had to go find it.
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
DJ Fresh Squeeze?
I think they were just doing it in the woods and passed out. No one found them. Yeah.
Maybe.
No one found him. It was lethal defecation.
Elvis Presley did that shit.
Yeah.
Nick, you nailed it. You
Did I really?
Lady using a public bathroom, and she dropped her phone.
Give me something.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And I don't think it was one of those blue ones that's like 2 feet deep.
Yeah.
That's just gross as hell with the blue water.
Oh yeah.
This was, I don't know if you've ever gone to the one at like a Metro
Camping.
Parks.
Yeah, like, it's
Just
a
huge, like
pit
15-foot pit.
down to hell.
Yeah. I don't, those are scary.
No wonder Satan hates us. We just keep shitting on his head.
He's like, I'm coming. Plop.
It's gonna take me a week to recover from this dysentery.
So she's trying to reach in there. She's using her dog leash to try and tie herself and harness herself to reach in there. And so she fell head first into the toilet. All right, that's
sorry.
nasty.
I'm sorry. That just somebody just like reaching. I could just picture like almost got the dog's like trying to hold her, like by keeping the other leash. I'm trying to hold it. He lets go. Boom.
I was trying to tell you I'm losing my grip.
Face first.
Face first. Britain Fire Department Chief Tim Manley. That's a cool last name. Tim Manley. Of course he'd be the chief. He was Boily before he became chief. And then as soon as he became chief, he was Tim Manley. So,
Boily.
So said the woman who was at the top of Mount Walker in the Olympic National Forest northwest of Seattle had been using her phone when it fell into the toilet. So that's...
You got to know the risks, guys. When you go into a bathroom, you got to know the risks. You got to calculate this properly. And I'm telling you what here. There ain't no tweet. There ain't no Twitter that you're going to have more important than dropping a nice 13 down the shooter. You know?
Yeah. Oh, boy.
You got to assess the risk here, guys.
That was like, I went from like Boston to Bronx to Minnesota.
It's good. It's good advice. She was in there, tried to get out for 10 to 15 minutes. Reunited with her phone, she called 911. The shit phone.
How's that call going? Like, I am trapped. I am in the shit.
Yeah, you're in the shit, right? I'm in I'm up to my elbows in shit here.
I'm in big doo-doo right now.
Manly said, I've been doing this for 40 years, and this was a first. Tim Manley, your hero.
Tim Manley is the man.
Yeah. That's
Those are great ones. Good job, Luke. Those are fun rounds.
the clickbait headlines are fun. It's almost as interesting as this product, because this product, yes, that's right. This product is that product of yours that you love. I remember the first time I used this product, I knew I was going to be hooked on this product for life, or until that product makes us a better offer. This product feels like home. Safe, familiar, and smells just like you remember. This product doesn't have all the excess frills that product has. This product is streamlined for efficiency and results. Make sure you get this product by using code VCPOD20 for an extra 20% off at checkout. This is not an actual product, service, or idea. Just in case you thought it was, it's not. If there is something out there with the same name, we are unaware and have no affiliation and offer no judgment. The actual product, service, or idea.
Loving it. Products. We're going to talk about some products right now.
Oh.
We're going to do a segment called Nostalgia. We ain't got nostalgia around here. No, we do. We have lots of nostalgia. We have lots of nostalgia deep in our hearts. This episode, we are going to talk about 90s vans, baby. And I'm not talking about the shoes. I'm talking about minivans, baby. Minivans. These are my life. This is my childhood. This is what I grew up in. Family of 5, no better way to get around.
Nope, that's the way.
If it's 4, you get a nice little Roadster or Subaru, whatever you want. But if you pop out that 5th kid, man, anything above that, you're getting a minivan.
Yeah.
So say goodbye to your cool wheels, man. Guys. Yeah?
Did you have a favorite seat?
So it depends on the van, right?
Okay.
It depends on the van.
When did you get captain's chairs?
Second van.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I like real brief family history. Our van tree.
Our Vanley tree.
Our Vanley tree. Started off, kid you not, a Plymouth Voyager. Like this 1990 Plymouth Voyager. I was born after this car started coming out, right? My parents got one. I was telling DJ Fresh Squeezed earlier that from the outside, it's kind of inconspicuous, right? And so a white van has the old Chrysler, like, what's it? The head, the symbol on the front. What's it called?
The hood ornament.
The hood ornament, right? The funny thing, I used to play with that thing all the time because they were smart. Like it was on a rubber band, like a big rubber thing, so you could like bend it and move it so that
if it hit a bird, it would.
Yeah. Inside though, red leather trim.
Yeah.
Red and maroon.
Wow.
Dude, it was a thing. My parents were they were groovy before I came along.
They had fun before you guys came along.
They had style.
Last time they had fun was when they had you.
Probably right. Anyway, but now I'm even more fun.
Exactly.
But anyway, dude, Plymouth Voyager, 1990. It was, like I said, red interior, white on the outside. This was like the childhood van I grew up in. I remember so many nights. Like it had these really old kind of tungsten-y lights, but it was like well lit on the inside. I just remember like summer nights, like misty summer nights, getting in, like going home from like a little family event or something. I just so many events.
So much. Nice.
This kid threw up in the back once, like blended right into the carpet. Like it's perfect. Like don't make your gray interiors anymore. Maroon red. It'll blend in with puke, any type of puke, right? Just so many different times. Those are all benches.
Did you have the wood panel?
No wood panel.
Oh, okay.
It was white all the way around.
Okay.
So yeah, that was our first car, right? Our first family vehicle, right?
That's
the
nice.
minivan. And then they knew they were having a couple more. So then brother and sister came along, and by the time we hit 2000, around 2000, 2001, we went to the Honda Odyssey.
Oh.
But not the OG one, because the 90 Honda Odyssey was like lagging. It did not have a lot of power. It was kind of cramped. This was like the new generation Honda Odyssey. I remember like walking through the parking lot. This is back when cars weren't scarce, COVID scarce,
Yeah.
Just miles of cars in one parking lot, at the dealership. And I remember like my dad, like that guy test drove every single van, like the same. He drove every single Honda Odyssey. They're all the same car, Dad. They're all the same van.
No, they got different packages.
Yeah. We just want to make sure this one's functioning. It's like, okay, you're going to pick the one car out of all these hundreds of cars, not working. Anyway.
At least it seemed like that as a kid.
That's when we upgraded. Yeah. Yes. The waiting times were terrible.
Like you'd just be in there, making up games, throwing, cream packets from the coffee. Like, I don't know, one of those little things. They're building towers or something. I don't know.
Building towers, organizing their office. They're like, wow, it's so clean in here. Yeah, I had nothing to do
for 30 minutes.
Now kids got iPads because then like some dealerships started upgrading to like the Nintendo 64.
Oh, really?
But there's like 3 other kids from different families in there, and everyone's waiting their turn to play, Donkey Kong 64. You're like, can't we just switch over to Smash Brothers and play a tournament? Come on. Anyway, now when you're at a dealership as an adult, you're like, God, please take your time, buddy.
Yeah.
Take your time with that paperwork because I don't want to give you my money. Can I get this car for free?
Those bastards.
Anyway, Honda Odyssey 2001. We ran that car up and down America, really. The car was in Arkansas and Tennessee and Florida, back and forth. But that was when we got the captain's chairs.
Chair's the way to go.
That's what kept your legs nice and strong, your back strong.
Mm-hmm.
You're ducking down and you're like running 5 feet to the back of the car.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're co-captain at that point. Like
you're co-captain.
You're doing stuff.
Dad.
Making navigational calls.
Some good memories, like listening to music. Those were the vans though that were funny because like people could sleep in the bed. Like 12 o'clock at night, you're driving down to Florida with your dad. I was 14, and he's like, just keep me up. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, just play the music, keep the windows down, talk to me, keep me up. I'm like, what happens if I don't?
No concept of death.
My dad and I just like Van Halen, just like all the way down, just like my dad's not a coffee drinker too. So we're just like, yeah. Everyone's sleeping in the back. Like we're in our own little world. It's a good memory.
That's great.
Dude, minivans, that's the thing about minivans. They're a magical place for American families. I really do believe this. They get their funny little jokes, their cracking jokes of like comics. I think they're washed out jokes now at this point because everybody just realizes the minivan wasn't really a big thing until like the mid 1980s. Like it's not been around that long as like a concept. And so I just think it's become like a really magical place for families, like different memories, different things. Like typically it's the first car you're allowed to drive, right? It's a minivan, right? Not a cool car. Like
that's what I took my test in.
Exactly. Yeah. The boat, the whole family boat.
Yeah. The Toyota Previa.
You did have a Toyota Previa. Okay, we're going to talk about that. I just want to talk about one more thing. There was my aunt and uncle owned a Chevy Express, like the big honkers, like, right?
My mom still had one up. She drove one for like 12
Dude,
years.
They're amazing. They're like tanks, right? Because you got to climb up in them from the side. So it's not like a truck where you're like, it's like, it feels like you're a freaking celebrity, like going into like a freaking like tour bus, right? So that thing, we would borrow that for long road trips just because of the big room. It's so weird. Like no one shares anymore. Like my aunt and uncle were like, go ahead, take the van. Like all the family get in there. My favorite thing was, and nobody's going to get this out there. Like you guys will get this. We had a mobile VHS TV.
Oh yeah, dude.
It was the size of the screen was as big as my iPhone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was hooked into like a small portable VHS player. So you're like, it's bigger than the screen, and like there are 2 captain seats, and we actually built out like a bed so the 3 siblings could just like watch. Like we filled it up in the middle. So
how did every dad do that? Like that's such a universal. Like every dad's like, I'm not paying. We're gonna piece of plywood, 2 ratchet straps. You're laying down, and we're gonna just shotgun feed you with a super soaker.
Yeah, exactly. My brother and I started to figure out how to rig our own stuff, and you had like things that you could plug then we got a mini TV, a tube TV. And upgraded to like then have our gaming system.
Dang.
So for the whole drive, the whole like 14-hour drive down to Florida, we're just gaming the whole time.
Yeah,
so we got
unfazed.
Our thumbs got real lice, like show up at the beach. You're like, yeah, what's up? Nah,
that was before people cared about seat belts.
Seatbelts, yeah.
Sure, just making a bed back there.
Yeah, well, that was my favorite
projectile.
My favorite seat was the Chevy Express, the back row, because I was the oldest, I was the biggest, so I was like, I got it, and I got to lay down because I can't sleep in a chair. I just can't.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, and then I got too big, and so I handed it down to my brother because I was like, I'm not gonna. I let him.
Pass the torch.
Anyway, the VHS TV, sleeping in the back, Florida travels. I mean, that thing was a beast. I couldn't imagine having one of those right now. The gas, I
was gonna say that's the only reason your auntie shared is because back then you could get gas to Florida for 3 Tic Tacs and the spare change in the couch.
So anyway, but no, this is cool. Just to segue over because you were talking about the Toyota Previa.
Oh,
So
yeah.
your family, the Horvat, I can't say your name.
Yeah. It's there.
The whores.
The horse, the family of whores.
Go ahead, tell me about the Previa.
Oh yeah, it's one of a kind. Looked like a nose. I remember one time going to my buddy's house, and I just had got my license. His dad is a car salesman, and he's like, "Oh, is that the Previa? I haven't seen that thing in." So it's just a good machine.
So I kind of wish they would bring this kind of look back, because everything now looks too globby to me. That's the way I would describe it, like glob. It's like, shape.
Unnecessary.
But like, I like these old kind of unique styles and looks. It would be cool. You know how they're bringing back the Bronco? They brought back the Bronco. They're bringing back the DeLorean.
Hell yeah.
An electric DeLorean, fully electric.
Once it hits 88.
You're out of here, baby. No, but seriously, it would be cool if they brought back some retro van styles like the Previa. I have in here also the Toyota, what was it? The Pontiac Transport. That one's weird. That one, it's similar to the Previa.
Yeah.
Not as
Well, along what you were just saying about the old styles and stuff, some car company did like a release of their new model. I forgot what company.
Sure,
but
yeah.
Someone was like, someone commented like, "What the hell is this? Like, what? Why is this such like? It looks like it's so old. It's like so retro. God, what are you guys thinking? Who's designing this? Like, yeah, it's like, what are you like? Why are you upset about this?
Yeah, yeah.
What is wrong?
Some people have so much spare time on their hands.
Want to complain about everything.
I want an old one to come back. I want the
Right?
Previa, like a souped up Previa. That'd be sick.
That's
No, I'm
actually that
serious.
was the
Like,
second one we had. So we had I think it was like a 95.
You bought
Previa.
another one?
Well, no, because my mom loved it, and the second one they bought was some kid was like used to race it, so it was like a V8 engine inside, and not like the normal whatever. Like he souped it up so much, so like that thing had some giddy up to it.
That's awesome.
That's what you need to do is you need to call up Elon Musk and be like, "Look, man, I got this Toyota Previa, right? Strap one of those bad like Tesla motors in there and be doing 180."
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Highway.
But the Pontiac Transport, it's funny because like it's transport but 2 words, so it's so stupid. This when they were designing it, right? They had the block of clay, right? It's generally a shape, kind of a brick looking shape, right? And they're like, all right, we got to design one of these new things called a van. Because at that point, Toyota was like, their first van was just called the Toyota van. So original, right?
Yeah.
Now they're like, let's name our car Fiesta. Like, they're just like coming up with all these random names for cars, right? Back then, van. Cool. Anyway, they have the brick of clay, right? Pontiac. And then the designer's just like, Haja! And he just like slices off the front corner of the car. And he's like, there it is. There it is.
This is my masterpiece.
Because if you look at the Pontiac Transport, it's a cube that just has one corner chopped off of it.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
And that's it. He's like, I'm done for a year. I'm
Done.
Give me my 6 figures. I'm done for a
It
year.
is. It is. That's so like that's so 90s.
Yeah, but it's simple.
Yeah. Elegant. Not even elegant.
So
It's
just-
simple.
Shwa! Chopped it with a samurai sword.
Drop the. It's cleaner. Just transport.
Transport.
It's just. Yeah.
And then finally, just wanted to mention, honorable mention, the Chevy Astro. Astro
Oh,
vans,
dude.
baby. That if I just had money to burn, I think I would buy a tricked out Astro van. Like they're so cool.
That's right up my alley, dude. I'm on Craigslist all the time looking for Astro vans.
Astro vans.
When I'm not podcasting, I'm just looking for Astro vans.
Oh man, they made 3.2 million Astro vans.
That sounds.
It was over 20 years from I think 1985 to 2005. So that's
What
a lot
about
of vans.
this is probably before. This is probably the first van I would say is the Volkswagen bus.
Yeah, the VW bus. Yeah,
Yeah.
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen.
the
yeah.
hippie van.
Yeah.
hippie
But I
dippies.
feel like that probably started it all.
Yeah,
They're coming back.
the Volkswagen. Yeah, I bet you they'll relaunch a new model of.
They did.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's
what?
gonna be they're making an electric,
Yep.
What?
Yeep.
which makes so much sense.
The
actually.
old will become new. It's only because it's going to be another 10 years before we get Astrovan back.
Yeah. I need that third generation 1989 Toyota Tercel to come back. The coupe with the extended.
Yeah. I still want. I either want to find. Man, I would cry if I could find one of those Chevy Expresses or Chevy the Plymouth Voyager.
Oh yeah.
If I could find one of those, man, I would and just drive it once.
Just for the nostalgia.
No, I'm serious because I never got to drive it because I was a kid. I was a kid. Yeah. No, don't tell me that. But it's true. Like I didn't get to drive it because I probably pretend drove it a lot, but in the driveway. But
yeah. Previa is what I learned to drive in.
amazing. They'll come back. They'll come back.
That and the '89 Honda Accord.
So thanks for traveling down memory lane with me on that one, guys. I mean, prepping that segment, I felt a lot because I was looking at tiers of these cars, and I was like, I was seeing those vans that I haven't seen in 20 years, So it was intense.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's pivot on over. DJ Fresh Squeeze, what you got something for us today?
I know we're going rogue today. You're letting me out of the cage, man.
Hell
But
yeah.
I do have a secret. A secret. I got a secret. And I'm not talking about the sixth song. I'm talking about The Secret by Byron Preiss. This is something I just found out about. Byron Preiss was an author who created this book in 1982 as a compilation of paintings partnered with a mixture of poems. There's 12 paintings and 12 poems that are all hints and riddles to treasures actually buried in the United States.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's do it.
I was gonna say
I've seen this book. I've seen a copy of it. It's pretty cool.
and dude, this could lead into a serious hypothetical life down the road here. But what I found out, my girlfriend actually turned me on to this just this week, and this book compiled of all these tips was this author wrote these very cryptic messages partnered with these. I don't know what the style of painting is. You could almost call it mythological paintings, and within them lead to major cities in the United States. And each poem partnership represents a major city, and there's actual buried treasure. Byron Preiss went out in the 1980s and buried individual casks, ceramic hand-painted casks with ceramic keys in them. And what treasure hunters found out is that if you find these keys, you can return them back to him, or when he wrote this book in 1982, you return it back to him for precious stones. Now, this actually turned out to be way more difficult than he thought. For most people. He thought, not in the
He's
sense.
anticipating like writing off a couple of checks for like a couple $100,000. He's like, I'm prepped for it. I'm ready.
Like,
never happens.
Byron, we figured it out. Here's the key. Give me a second.
Well-
He goes out into his backyard and picks up some rocks. Here you go.
They're valuable to me.
No,
Just go to Home Depot, buy like a key just to like rough it up. Is this it? Is this your key? Is this your key?
So Byron went out after writing this book, and he actually would dress up as a construction worker, a city worker, things like that, and go into local parks and bury these casks. And the first one was actually found almost right off the rip. 2 years after he published the book in 82, in 1984, a group of 3 teenagers in Chicago found one in Grant Park after following the riddles. They had discovered that multiple sections of the photos represented different sections of Chicago. So when you look at these paintings, there'll be silhouettes of different sections of the city. They're like, oh, this cloud looks like the building in downtown, and then each clue will lead them closer and closer.
Wow.
So, but it wasn't until 2004, over 35 years later, that the next treasure out of 12 was found. So again, actually turned out to be a very difficult puzzle.
So they don't say like this is painting A and this refers to Chicago, right? You have to guess what city it actually refers to.
Correct. And there's whole societies and groups that are dedicated to decrypting the messages. If you were to Google one of them, they'll have full blown diagrams and be like, well, this is what we believe this represents and this represents. So in total, there's only been 3 of the 12 treasures found, and the latest one to be found was in 2019. Okay, so actually, let me start in the beginning. So you have Chicago was the first one found.
Yeah.
What do we have here? I have the names written down here. The second one was found by 2 lawyer friends named Brian Zinn and Andy Abrams in 2004 in Cleveland in the Greek Culture Gardens.
Dang.
Hometown.
Yep.
Cleveland,
Dang, we
Ohio.
missed it.
The latest one was actually found in 2019. And the crazy thing about this is with such a long-lasting treasure hunt, like Byron Preiss was probably out here thinking like, oh, this would be something to be fun. People will find it here soon
10
enough.
years.
And it's been going on for so long that things are actually shifting where he buried them. So this last one that was found in 2019 was actually when the gentleman who found it was actually an ongoing construction site, what used to be a local city park. So,
Hey, boss, I found this key. Yeah, throw it away. What do we need it for? We're changing all the locks.
Yeah, we're changing the lock.
but I actually want to read you guys one of these here.
We'll solve it.
We'll solve it right now on the air. Our chaotics out there will help us out.
Here you go. Let me see.
So only 3 out of 12?
Only 3 of 12 puzzles have been found.
Jeez.
So the next one they believe that people have actually decrypted is they believe to be in St. Louis, because there's different images like relating to the arch and things like that. In Cleveland, when they did the Greek Cultural Gardens, if you look at the trees upside down, it perfectly silhouettes Terminal Tower.
Yeah.
In Chicago, here I'm trying to pull up the one of the Chicago puzzle, but the gentleman who found it, the clues eventually led him to the puzzle was hidden beneath home plate at the center baseball diamond in this park in Chicago, right on the waterfront.
What?
But because it was under construction when he found it, he actually broke into the construction site, started digging, and was caught by the construction crew, and he had to explain himself while he was here.
That's
aliens.
That's what I was thinking. It's like if you do go like hunting for these, you have to be digging and stuff. Like you're gonna get accosted.
Yeah. And here another quick couple facts before we dig into it a little further. But Byron Preiss actually passed away, unfortunately, in 2005, just after the second treasure was found.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was only alive to see 2 of them. Now he's succeeded by his wife Sandy, his wife Sandy, and his 2 daughters Kara and Blair, who were the successors. Sandy was basically the controller of the treasure. So you can still find the keys and return them to the family, and they will gift you with precious gemstones. And most of them are related to anything like a big event that happened in history, or if there's a clue relating to like the date and time. It's like the stone that represents the zodiac symbol of that time. One of the tips for the Chicago puzzle was like where Congress will meet on the fifth row, and that was actually off of Congress Street. And it was like, so people were like looking for these judicial congressional buildings, but it actually meant off of Congress Street. It's here. And I mean, but this is an actual American treasure hunt to be found. Like this is modern day piracy.
We need Nick Cage.
We need Nick Cage. Get Nick Cage involved. That's crazy. That's like only 25% of the treasures. I've heard one is they speculated it was in New Orleans, and that it's just like you'll never be able to find it because of the hurricane, especially Katrina, the way it affected that town. That one, it changed the landscape, and 2, it could just be washed or buried. Mm-hmm. So like, I know some of them are probably going to be pretty hard, but it's also a wonder in today's day and age that people haven't found at least one more.
Maybe people have and had no idea.
That's probably also what could happen.
Metal detectors just like beep, 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 beep. Oh, what do I need this key for? That's garbage.
Oh yeah. There's actually a great series that we were watching called Unknown Expedition or Expedition Unknown.
Yeah.
And that's where the last one was actually found on their TV show. A gentleman had contacted the host of the show and said, hey, I know where the final puzzle is. This is the construction zone one. And they brought them out and actually dug with the construction crew in order to find it.
They covered the Cleveland one, not like during the event, but like afterward.
Right.
And I was a PA on that
Oh,
episode.
nice.
Were you really?
Yeah, so that's how I know about this.
Take over. Well, here I just want to read one of the puzzles for you guys.
Yeah.
So we can, so you guys can get a feel for how incredibly difficult these are. So the Chicago puzzle was where M and B are set in stone, and to Congress R is known. L sits and left beyond his shoulder is the fair folks' treasured holder. The end of 10 by 13 is your clue. Fence and fixture central too. For finding jewel cask, seek the sounds of rumble brush and music hush.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know exactly what it is.
And that's
Never been to Chicago, but I know where that is.
And this, think about this. This was done in the 80s. This is before. This is people are like, what is the internet? No, this this is guys going to libraries and digging out this knowledge.
I'm looking at some of the paintings. Like they're really beautiful paintings, but how do you figure this out?
Yeah. And actually, that's another fun fact. John Jude Palenkar was actually the artist of all 12 of the paintings. He's from Fairview Park, Ohio. Believe it or not.
They're
Maybe
all
he knows.
in Ohio. The rest of it.
And he said he's been asked in interviews regarding this, says, do people contact you regarding the puzzle? And he begs, do not contact me about the puzzle. I burned all evidence that I was given after creating the photos. So he knows what cities they represent, and based off of, he was given like file folders with portraits and different pictures of like, hey, these are elements I want to include. And that's how he created the photos.
Wow.
And then after like signing some legal documentation, he legitimately burned the evidence. And I mean, he says, he's like, hey, Byron was a friend of mine. Like, I do this out of respect. What I know is what I know, but I will not be saying a word.
That's cool for him.
If you want a live treasure hunt, this is your chance.
We're doing it.
I hope like this is a cool one because it exists, but it's like I hope something happens where they're found. Like I don't. What are the keys like nice keys? Like what do they look like?
No, they look like hand coated ceramic keys. Like it's the actual casks are about 7 inches by or 8 inches ish square, and the other cool thing is they're handmade with creatures from the book on them, and the keys themselves look like something out of a mythological storybook.
I can just picture somebody rolling into the Antique Roadshow. So what the hell is this worth? It's just like the appraiser guy is like, oh, like $10. I'll buy it from you right now on the show.
Yeah.
We don't do this a lot, but I'll do it. Just buys it.
Does it have like
Runs
a note to like return to Byron Preiss or something?
I hope so.
Because how do you know? Like if you do just stumble upon it.
Who the hell is
Yeah.
Brian Preiss? I don't know any priests.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I hope at least a couple more are found. Because our batting average as a human race is not very high on this one.
No, and I mean, there's people that there's legitimate treasure hunters out there that spend their whole lives on projects.
Which is so funny to me. It's like, how have you not found it, or at least one? Like there's only been 3. Like that's insane.
I think we
gotta get it.
We should have a VC pod team. We should
VC
find
pod.
one.
Let's do it.
The other thing I was thinking of, it'd be cool if somebody else did a more modern one.
Mm-hmm.
Not along these lines, but just did a treasure hunt where like
They'd go to jail.
Why?
Because they'd be digging in some public park.
That is
a shame.
That is one thing they addressed on the documentary. They said if you do go hunting for these treasures, like this was done in the 80s when no one cared, and they said most people who dig it up have to get permission from the local parks. So there have been people who have been arrested for like defacing because people just pick up shovels and start digging in local parks. Yeah. It's true. So if
I'm a cop and somebody's like, I think I'm fine. I think this is where buried treasure is. And you're like, do you have a job? And they're like, no, I'm just here on the weekend. It's Saturday. And like, here's a picture of my family, whatever. I'd be like, all right, man, carry on. Like,
have you
put it
listened?
back.
Officer, please, have you listened to episode 69 of Velocity Chaos Podcast? Do that, and it'll explain everything.
Then come back and talk to me.
But yeah, this one had me jazzed, and that's something I just found out about.
What's the documentary called?
It's the TV show. Yeah,
Oh.
sorry. TV show is called
Destination
Expedition Unknown.
Expedition Unknown.
They explore a lot of different puzzles and things like this and treasure hunts, but this is the one that I was watching. So
Got it.
That's great.
I'm a fan of that. Thanks for bringing that up and sharing that thing that you learned. I highly recommend just go check out this art. This art's good. Is this the guy who did the...
He actually did the cover of Aragon.
Oh, but did he do Lord of the Rings or anything like that?
Oh, I think he did do...
The Hobbit Illustrated or something?
Yeah,
he did
I think it's something like
concept
that.
art.
He
for
did
that.
a lot of other books, but his work's famous aside from this.
That fantasy style is very distinct.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while since I used a metal detector, but they're fun devices. But before we talk any more about that treasure hunting stuff and metal detectors, I wanted to bring up the other device, the device. The device is so easy and convenient to use. Even your grandma could use it. That's actually who got it for me for my birthday. Your grandma. Yes, your grandma got me the device. The device was designed in a top secret laboratory by top tier scientists using top drawer tools. The device is state of the art technology that won't let you down, just like your grandma. I mean, this thing really cooks, man. It's vibrating all the time. So don't let us down. Use the code VCPODBOGO at checkout and get a second of the device for 50% off and to give to a friend or my grandma. This is not an actual product service idea, just in case you thought it was. It's not. If there is something out there like it with the same name, we are unaware and have no affiliation, offer no judgment on the actual product service idea. Very cool, man. Very cool. Sweet, dude. We're going to a great segment.
This is the best one.
This is for the ladies.
Not by the ladies.
You know. Anyway, this is a segment where we talk about something a little outside our comfort zone, something that's going to challenge our masculine views, something off the beaten path. But this one, I actually really appreciate this one. I appreciate all these for the ladies.
I appreciate the ladies.
I appreciate the ladies very much.
So that's why we're doing something for the ladies
We're doing something for the ladies.
on episode 69
Nice.
of Velocity Cast podcast.
I was about to say thanks for grounding me and keeping me on track and focused, but I'll take it back. Anyway, we're covering Mother of Pearl fashion. This is a UK company. I came across this because every once in a while, I care about the environment. I care about sustainable businesses, the people who are trying to make an impact on the way industries are run, look at things in a different way. I think that as a race, we create a lot of waste. And so it always, my ears always perk up when I hear somebody doing something creative, but also something creative, something valuable to the economy, but also something that kind of is sustainable and protecting the planet in some way.
I care that you care.
I
think this is good.
I appreciate that. This is for the ladies because the fashion at Mother of Pearl is actually really good. It's designer fashion. It's really like high-end stuff. They were founded in 2002 by Maya Norman in England. And then this woman, Amy Powney, she started in 2006. She started as an assistant, just like sweeping floors and keeping the studio clean. And she worked her way all the way up to creative director, which is pretty much like the heart and soul of a fashion brand, the person who's like kind of steering the ship, if you will. But it's a lot more than just designing clothes. It's keeping the team focused. It's creating new ideas. It's bringing those big ideas into and imbuing them into the clothes that they're making. And so now she's the boss. So Amy's the boss.
Worked her way up.
She worked her way up and did a good job doing it. Most of Amy's life, she was growing up out in the countryside in England, and she hid it from the fashion industry for a long time because it's not chic, it's like not London speed, so to speak. But she began to embrace it a lot more as she kind of moved up in the company, and like now it's part of her defining features of her clothes. It's like this kind of confident elegance, and it began to draw a lot of attention. So then in like 2017, she won like this big cash prize from Vogue, where they like invest like in a up and coming designer, and so they gave her like a bunch of money to go kind of bring a passion idea to life. So she set out to create like the first like fully sustainable fashion line called No Frills. And I actually saw a documentary that just premiered at Tribeca Film Festival 2022, just so it's marked where it happened. It was a really well-made doc about her and her, I think it's her product manager, Chloe. essentially like go out. It's like a road trip, and they like go out looking for the source of the materials for these clothes. So she wanted to know where the wool was coming from for her clothes, for the knitting. And she wanted to find like guys who could create the fabric that they were going to use for the clothes with like environmentally conscious, machinery and stuff like that. And I learned some crazy things like jeans. They talk about denim. For one pair of jeans, it's like 1,500 liters of water.
Really?
That they have to wash it and put it through so much dye. 1,500 liters of water apparently is the drinking water of a single person for 2 years.
Wow.
For one pair of jeans.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
My pants are important.
Yeah. I don't. You don't want to see what's underneath.
Yeah.
Like you'd be faint of heart.
So do they reuse this water, or is this each time they got to do 1,500?
A lot of the water is like full of dyes and toxic chemicals, so they just like dump it, and like it just kind of either gets dumped back into the ecosystem.
Sounds terrible.
It's illegal to do that, but people do it. And so she was looking for ways of people who were like changing the game. And essentially what I learned is like the fashion industry and all this clothing and stuff, it's just an amalgamation of resources. Like this shirt is made up of like wool from like 5 different farms from 5 different countries. Like it's just like these manufacturers just get all these shipments in, they dump it all into a big pot and they mix it up and they put it together.
Yeah, you don't want inbreeding. You got to have that crossbreeding of polymers.
So it's nice extra stuff.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is you don't know if the wool is being ethically sourced. You don't know if the quality of wool is a certain way. And then plus, like I said, like if you're shipping in wool from 5 different countries, the carbon footprint alone just to get it all in there is unreasonable, right?
Yeah.
Typically, it's like 7 to 8 countries will touch the fabric and of a garment before it even gets to the shop.
Jeez.
So the carbon footprint is like, here it is, then here it is, then here it is, then here it is. Sometimes people will get the wool in Latin America, ship it to China for processing to get put into the yarn.
Yeah.
And then the yarn gets shipped back to a knitting mill in Argentina or Peru.
We need to streamline this.
So that's exactly what Amy and Chloe set out to do, was they were saying, let's just see if we can figure this out. And so they went to some really cool places. They went to a farm in like Argentina or in Peru, in Latin America, that like the sheep just run and frolic.
Taking tours of it. Here are sheep. They like to. We give them 3 hours a day of free time, and then we have a nap. After the nap, they get up, and usually they have some juice. Here with the juice and a little cracker snacks. And
you're like pointing fun at it, but that's kind of how they treat these sheep.
And they go to another one. Yeah, we got them all stuffed in that shed back there. If you want to take a look, yeah.
just buzzing them like alpacas are out there. These sheep, look, it's not that like the sheep actually do create better wool the more taken care of they are, which is interesting because then it's actually more valuable of a product. But then it end up mixed in with like lesser quality wool or whatever. So streamlining actually provides more value to the sheep farmer. They like even like recirculate water that they use to wash, because they have to wash all the oil and dirt out of the wool.
Oh.
And a lot of times that just gets like dumped as dirty water, but they like put it into a sequence of like 12 filtering lagoons. And the first one is like, they have this membrane that coats it. It's so funny. It's like a tarp, like for a pool. And then after like a couple days, the methane gas from like all the stuff that was in it gets like a big mushroom, and then they suck out all the methane. They use the methane to power the generators for the plant.
Nice.
Oh, gosh.
Someone's
so like,
thinking.
Yeah.
They're
like
ideas,
these people,
guys.
Yeah. And so like, so these women are like, wow, like they're discovering all this stuff where the wool is coming from, right?
Yeah.
So that's wool. And then cotton was the other big thing. It was like the big problems with cotton is that they're not ethically, like they're not paying workers fairly and stuff. So, they wanted to find like people who were treating, the farmers well, paying them a living wage. And then they wanted things like denim to be like properly processed. And so this one guy, I mean, you gotta watch the doc. There's too much in it, but there's some crazy stuff in it. Like they have a machine that uses ozone. You know how like people buy like faded jeans and cool beat up jeans? So they dye the jeans with like safe chemicals, and then they recycle the water, and like they're lowering down how much water needs to be used for each jean, pair of jeans. But then to get the faded look, which is so stupid, right? Let's waste all this water to dye the jeans, and then let's fade them to make it look like they're worn for 20 years.
Well,
right?
so they have the water washed, and then they have stone washed jeans, where they just throw stones at the jeans because they're trying to save water.
Just like this guy's job, his like left arm's just like shredded because he's just lefty, and he's just like, "Hey man, you want to like MLB scouts going down there? Like, hey, you want to come play in the MLB?" He's like ripping like 120-mile fastballs.
He must work 1 year in the denim mill. That's like if you were a hipster and you want stonewashed jeans, you have to wear them and get them stoned.
That's like the opening of like Burnt with Bradley Cooper, where he's the chef, and he's just like at the opening, he's just shucking like he wanted to shuck 100,000 oysters as like penance. Is like some MLB players like, not good enough yet. I've only stonewashed like 20 pairs of jeans.
We're gonna turn this to a boat segment.
Yeah. But anyway, the cool inventions are this guy, they found out this machine, you throw the jeans in, it looks like a dryer, but it like takes ozone out of the air.
That's where it's all going.
And then it just like pushes it into the jeans, and it like accelerates a fading process that doesn't use any type of like water or extra stonework or anything, or chemicals those chemicals like literally burn people's eyeballs out of their sockets. Like the workers.
They don't play games.
So there's that. And then the other cool thing that I saw was people are so smart. Like the smart people are so smart. The dumb people are so dumb. They figured out that to get the cool like patterns and like wear marks on jeans, you can just use a laser to burn out like certain dye. You don't have to use anything else. And so it's safe.
You don't have to actually wear them for years.
or put people at risk breathing in crappy chemicals. So anyway, that was a lot, but like it was really cool.
Well, if jeans are the stuff is so toxic, how are we wearing them? Are we going to have leg cancer?
No, because it gets all washed out. So the dye is just in the fabric.
That's what they tell us.
Yeah. Well, that's why you got to be careful with like polymer and microfibers and stuff like that. Like microplastics are a big problem in the ocean, but they've shown that like microfibers can get into your digestive system and then get into your bloodstream because they're so small. They just transfer through membranes of the human body. So like me, I need to start making some more moolah so I can just like wear ethically sourced wool and cotton.
I just wear bed sheets.
Just toga style.
Yeah.
Are you constantly going to a toga party? Dude, that kid goes to a lot of orgies, man. No, just poor.
It's more ethical.
Anyway, so look, this is for the ladies because I think aspects of feminism really bring out the best in industries where they're saying, look, there's got to be a better way to do this. It's not always just about the bottom line. You look at their products. It was a flashpoint moment because they launched their line at like 2018 or something, and it was kind of slow start, but now all the other brands have gone on board with the ethically sourced stuff. So they were really a game changer. I wanted to point it out and give Amy a lot of credit. Like whoever listens to our podcast out there and is interested in fashion, she deserves a lot of credit for really taking the bull by the horns, the lamb by the legs, if you will.
Ah, nice.
So
that's a good one.
So yeah, man, that was for the ladies segment. And I learned a lot watching that doc. The documentary should be coming out maybe end of this year, early next year. Fashion Reimagined is what it's called, and I can't recommend it enough to just learn about where your clothes come
You
from.
go, girl.
I will.
Nice.
Don't be a hero, mate. You look after your mates, and your mates will always look after you. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Here we are in our Australian news segment, how we cap off every episode of Velocity Chaos podcast, back from episode 1 all the way up to here to 69 is where we're at here. So Australian news segment, what I got for you today, how a deadly bee virus could soon affect your grocery shop. That's right. So there's beehives on a farm in Calga. I think it was in New South Wales, something like that. Somewhere over there. It's in the link. We'll give it to you. But some biosecurity officers, they went scooping hundreds of thousands of bees to test for the deadly Varroa virus. Varroa, V-A-R-R-O-A. The Varroa mite, which was detected at more than 100 kilometers away. We know with conversion that's more than 7 miles. So near Newcastle. And 48 hours later, the Calga hives, they became the designated site for a new eradication zone of this virus. So,
jeez.
So these varroa mites are running rampant, and they're killing off beehives.
On top of everything else going on,
Yeah,
we got to have our bees in jeopardy.
that's like this is the final straw. It's gone too far.
It's gone too far.
It's gone way too far. The mites are taking over.
The mites, the mighty mites.
These mites are deadly to bees because they're small, but they latch on and they they just start killing them. But they're not dangerous to humans
Can
or
we
livestock.
fight these mites?
Fight the mites is we're gonna start protesting. Fight the mites.
Fight the mites.
Yeah. So,
Bite the mites.
that's the thing. So bees, they aren't really they don't do a lot of grooming.
They're damn dirty
They're
bastards.
dirty. They're rubbing themselves in the pollen and stuff, and just, yeah, but they don't really clean themselves. They love the
Just
pollen.
like having little pollen fights with each other, just like, hey, oh, you dirty bee.
So yeah, that's how the mites take over, because the bees don't groom themselves. Like, they don't stay. They're like, cats will lick each other. Like,
I can just imagine like a bee keeper going out to his hives one day. You're dirty. You're so dirty.
Nah, bro.
Take a bath.
Listen, bro. Baths aren't naturally found, man. Can't be doing that, man. I'm just gonna live my life with this pollen all over me.
Peace and bees, baby. Peace and bees.
That's then I tried. It's forced me to look up, like, how do you combat varroa mites?
How do you kill a mite?
How do you do it? So, I mean,
With your hand.
no, they're super tiny. They're tiny. They're jumping on, so they latch onto the back of the bees' heads. So like,
Could you? Sorry.
Yeah.
I know this is typically a shorter segment, but I'm fascinated by this. Could you imagine the equivalent of a mite in for a human? Like, what if there was something that was the size of a guinea pig that just would jump out at you and latch at the back of your neck, and you knew you were gonna die?
Yeah.
Like, that would be terrifying. Think about the bees going through this shit.
Futurama kind of had that, where they had those like green slugs that just attach to people's heads.
No, but it's serious in real life.
Yeah.
There's I can't remember what it was called, but you know that Animal Planet show about like the weird and wild, mysterious animals, like the El Chupacabra and stuff.
Yeah.
There was like this demon vole of like New Mexico. This thing apparently would run out of the bush. It would gnaw off the back of your ankle, like your Achilles heel.
Yep.
And then chew its way up your leg,
Yep.
and then eat your innards.
Yep.
The capybara is a vicious creature, gnawing on the ankles.
That's the equivalent of a bee mite. Like, if that was real, that would be terrifying. Modern humans in America have almost no predator threat.
You got Lyme disease from a tick.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But that's not as.
But like, I'm talking about stuff that is actively hunting us. Like you watch Stranger Things and the Gorgon thing. We got nothing like that. Nothing like that in the real world.
Not at all.
Don't laugh at me for watching cool shit.
No, that's all. I think that's great. For
Squeeze.
You're getting squeezed.
You're getting squeezed. Sorry.
No,
this is
that's
fascinating.
yeah, so-
Imagine that.
Yeah. If we did have to, that'd be crazy.
We had a mite. God, that'd be
So what are you gonna do to these bees? You gotta put like flea collars on every
Yeah,
one of
little
them?
flea collar. You got, all right.
They're all lined
Come
up.
here, Winston.
Line up.
Okay, come here, Jerry.
Give them a bath.
Give the
Sally,
queen like a
yeah.
stack of them and like
Yeah,
you
hand
do
them
it.
out.
You do
They're
it.
your
You
kids.
lazy piece of
Your
shit.
kids.
They're your kids. You take care of them.
So there's resistant stock. So bees that are kind of more resistant
The
to
elite
those.
bees.
Yeah.
We're getting into a caste system now.
There's a whole thing. There's making the screened bottom board, like, so it's a smaller opening so things can't like fly in. One thing I saw that I thought that was funny, because I said the grooming thing is powdered sugar. So they sprinkle powdered sugar on the bees, so then they're forced to clean each other. And then because the bees
You're
can
so tasty.
yeah, because the bees can kill the mites. It's just that they're not grooming each other. So like
These really kinky bees are just like always throwing pollen at each other. They're like, oh, we're so dirty.
oh, you got some on
We
you.
need some powdered sugar.
let me nibble it off.
Yum, 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 yum. Lick me. Lick
Swedish
me.
bees.
See, the mites aren't like just getting cleaned out. They're just like, I ain't going near that shit. That hive is weird.
That just shows you in life when you're in a sugary situation and you want to get out of it, it's just start licking things. Lick it, and people will leave you alone. They're not going to want to be around the person that just starts licking everything. Because what are you doing? What else are you going to be doing? You're going to be you're pooping on your phone. Yeah, that's cool. That's a lot of fun. You're going to get leg's going to fall asleep and you're going to get hemorrhoids. That's not cool. What are you going to ride? You're going to ride in your Astro van across the country, going to buy some lottery tickets at each gas station just to better your odds in the water parks? No, probably not. What are you going to be stealing front yard signs from people? Probably, because maybe there's treasure inside. You're searching for treasure in the middle of the rain, and they're coming for you. They're coming for you. All of them. We're coming for them. That's what Velocity Chaos Podcast. We're going to start looking for the secret out there, because we are going to be doing it. We're going to get dressed up in the most sexy, fashionable clothing, and we're going to be gentlemen, and we are going to understand these paintings and poems, and there's no stopping us once we get rolling. There's no stopping us, because we'll go on forever, and we're going to look good doing it, and we're going to save the sheep. We're going to save the alpaca. There's no stopping us, because jeans are out and togas are in.
Before we get into it, I don't know why, but I just pictured this beekeeper dropping off a bunch of just to this one really erotic hive, just a bunch of gimp suits. The bees just the mites can't attach themselves because they're just all wearing leather suits. Just the mites can't get this now.
We are well protected. Look at you in your suit. Yummy.
Jeez. I put the sugar in here. Oh man, I love it. I love bees. Keep the bees alive. All right, so we're gonna pivot over. Last thing we're gonna do today, episode 69, recommendation station. This is the part of the show where we make sure you don't walk away without some recommendation from our lives, something that we love and we vouch for. It could be movies, a TV show, music, tech, what have you. Today, I'm going to recommend a product that I love. It's Ticket to Ride. Have you guys ever played this board game?
Hant.
It is a fun game. Ticket to Ride is a strategic board game where you essentially have to take over rail lines, and you get points for each rail line. Some are short, some are long. The first map was the United States, and you had to connect cities. It's a lot of fun. It's massively addictive board game. It's really easy to pick up the core game because you're just using cards and tokens. It's very simple, straightforward rules. What I love about it is there's a lot of expansions, a lot of different maps, Europe, UK, really cool stuff like that. And each expansion has a different set of rules. So you can really have a good long time, with each of the expansions. It's a great way to socialize because it's not too involved game, so you can have fun with your friends and play the game.
Just having a laugh.
It's real strategic though. I've been playing for 10 years with a group from college. It's the thing that brings us together.
Nice.
And we've kind of refined the game to the point where it's like tennis. It's more about or bowling. It's who's going to make a mistake rather than are we really strategizing? And one last thing, it's a card based. It's a deck builder. So you collect colors of different cards, and the wild card is a rainbow card, and it's used for any of the colors. And if you turn over 3, you have to reshuffle the whole deck. But the way we play is you also have to take a shot. You call it Rainbow City. It's Rainbow City, baby. You gotta take a shot. It's fun when you get 3 early in the game because it gets way harder to play. It's a lot more challenging. So yeah, Ticket to Ride. You can get it at most retailers, Target, Walmart, online on Amazon.com. All the expansions on there as well. I cannot recommend it enough. And it's pretty good for every age group, but definitely adults can have a good time with the strategy portion of it. Thank you very much for joining us for the 69th episode of the Velocity Chaos podcast. We have had an erotic time here, doing a lot of different stuff, looking for treasure, talking about, fashion for the ladies and clickbait headlines all over the place. It was just a blast. I'm really thankful for getting this far. Couldn't thank our DJ, Fresh Squeezed.
Thanks for having me out today, guys.
Thanks for giving us your juice, buddy. It's always good to have your juice all over the podcast table. Anyway, have a blast working with Luke. Have a blast working with DJ. Thank you all for listening, watching, doing whatever you do to consume Velocity Chaos. You can email us. Don't forget you can email us velocitychaospodcast@gmail.com. We're happy to take your emails and interact with you on that way or on the platforms that you so choose. You can follow us on all the socials. We are there regularly as well. Take it easy. This is Nick signing off.
And this is Luke signing off. Thank you guys once again. How did DJ Fresh Squeeze do on that segment? I thought that was pretty damn good for his first job up at the juicer. So thank you guys all again. We have been seeing an increase in downloads, and we just want to thank each and every one of you for spreading the word, and each of all of the newcomers. Thank you guys so much for being here, hanging out. Hope you're having a good time. Like Nick said, send us what you want to hear us talk about. And like we always say, there is one way, more than one way, a sheep can be shorn. See you. Thank you for tuning in to the Velocity Chaos Podcast. We upload new episodes every Monday and Thursday. Be sure to subscribe and rate us on iTunes, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice. Interact with us on Instagram at Velocity Chaos Pod or on Facebook and YouTube at Velocity Chaos Podcast. We are grateful for your time and hope you enjoyed it here. Please tell a friend, and thank you once again.